It is time for a quick market update. Bitcoin is below 28,500, crypto market is in red. But what the hell is happening? Keep this in mind, short-term fluctuations will always create panic, emotions. But if you zoom out and look for what exactly is happening in the market, you may have an edge. A couple of days back, I put this argument there. Oh, it's yesterday, before everything started. I shared this narrative saying, think about this for a moment. We're having that trend line to the upside in the RSI. That means the strength is increasing, the buyer's strength is increasing in the market. We are about to break higher, we are about to move higher. But just before that, usually the bulls, the whales, the macro guys, the financial institutions, they really don't want you and me making money. At that point, what do? They create a bluff. And I think this is what we are watching right now. If you look at XRP, the price action and how things are evolving, you can get that notion just from the price action, the history, and how things have evolved before. We're going to break that down here so you have a better understanding of the market now. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family. The normal retail guys learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. Right now, when we watch the trend line, keep in mind, as soon as you see a wick to the downside, there is going to be panic, there is going to be emotions, there is going to be a lot of volatility in the market. But until that line is broken, until you see a daily close below that range, hold on, keep your emotions low. Have that mature psychological movement here as an investor. Because if not, we had all this time when, literally we had the emotions so low, the price was moving down. What happens? The price bounce off. Again, you come back down to the exact same trend line, you bounce off. You come back down, you bounce off. So until and unless the price go down and close, don't just take that decision that it's going down. Because if it actually does go lower, now we have some other targets. That's different. But keep in mind, when the price action repeats something which we have seen in the recent past, it gives you an edge in the market. We need to understand what the market makers, the whales, the financial institutions are trying to do. Because if you understand that, you have an edge in the market. That's why I told you guys yesterday, it's a bluff. Watch this, it's a bluff, right? It's about to drop and we are watching the price action dropping. Go back and look at the trend line here. It's like a year-long trend line forming in the RSI, where each time you come to that exact level, you bounce off. In yesterday's video, I told you guys, watch this, we have some more room to reach that level. Today, we have already reached that level. That means we are so close to that support and a bounce back. If you actually take different narrative, looking at the momentum, looking at the support resistance, and say just the volatility, you can actually get a taste of it. We drop somewhat like 30-33% or up to 40-45%. And it actually depends on the amount of run up. If you run much higher, then you're actually getting a 60-70% correction. That's true. That's how the market actually works. XRP has done close to 40% drop. And that's historically a good area when it's at a support region. It's the same for highly correlated assets like XLM. It's below that trend line right now. We don't know where the hell this candle is going to close. Because imagine one thing. If this daily candle goes back up and closes inside that range, if you entered as a bear here, as a seller, you may get trapped in. Now, yes, I agree that in the market you have other assets which are trending down when some of them are trending higher, breaking through the accumulation range. So yes, you do see massive opportunities in the market and you need to understand what the market makers are trying to do. Let's look at XRP for that matter. If you actually take the price action of XRP, zoom in to see what we have seen in the past and how things are evolving, it kind of really shows you the fact that, okay, this is the trend line that's really valid. The price is at a support. RSI is at a support on a daily. Great. Now remove all this, right? Keep your mind clean, erase everything, and go on a weekly chart. We need to understand on a macro, where are we right now? This is something we have discussed many times. This one candle, it's still super strong. After that candle, it's been like 5 different candles on a weekly, where you're trying to come back down to test the bottom of that range, and the base doesn't have that amount of strength. You're watching buyers entering. This was that indecision candle. Now, yeah, no one won that day, whether it's the bull or the bear. No one won. Right now, bears are trying to take over that control to push the price lower to the support range, maybe 0.55, maybe 0.58. We are in that region. Now, we really don't know which price point the bounce is going to start from, because if you actually plot the historical bounces, we have seen it from 0.51, we have seen it from 0.56. So that range is super strong as a support. So if you are a trader, you are an investor trying to buy in, you're actually looking for the trend lines. So we just talked about the daily trend line for XRP, and right now what you're watching is a weekly trend line. Now, if we have bounced off this trend line over and over and over again, all these times, until it breaks to the downside, let's not say we are breaking to the downside. Let's stay positive until the price actually breaks that. Because if it doesn't break, the amount of strength the buyers showing here is still valid. The amount of weakness the sellers showing here is still valid. Meaning you really literally took like 5 different weeks to come back to test this range. So the amount of buying power coming in the market is big. Now, think about this for a moment. If you do see a wick to the downside, that actually creates a lot of panic. Maybe a lot of people would move out. But that is the point where you need to understand what the macro market is doing. This is the total crypto market, excluding Bitcoin and Ether. Now remember, this point which I raised back in, it was with the same chart, excluding Bitcoin and Ether, right? We were expecting a bluff in this region. Great. If you come back into the price action, right now you're watching that is playing out. Now, no one has a crystal ball here. We are all trying to learn from the history and say, okay, if they have done this before, a run up, a major run up, why wouldn't they do this again? Because I think they really don't want us to make a lot of money. For sure, they're going to do a lot of bluff. We are actually seeing this again and again in multiple asset classes around the globe. But this is crypto market. It's even more volatile. So you do see 30, 35, 40% drops, just showing the fact that, okay, this is not what we are looking for. The market is going lower. That is the narrative being created there. But what happens? It actually bounces back hard. So if you took the choice to move out of that market, that was a wrong decision. And that is what we are waiting to see here. You're breaking through this range, which is actually decent, which is actually great. Because before the breakout, the price showed a fake movement here. If you actually extend this, you'll actually watch like, okay, the price action did try to break this, but just before that, there was some volatility. It kind of made few candles generating confusion, saying, okay, I'm going to go the other direction, right? When we have an engulfing candle like this, the thought process now becomes like, it's bearish, it's turning bearish. But immediately, you actually get a pop. But yeah, it's on a weekly chart, which means that 4 candles is a month of consolidation before you actually popped through that. So if you actually keep that in mind, I would say, okay, let's actually consider that this is happening. That means right now, when the price action is slowing down, you want to keep a close eye on different levels. Say, if you are using this chart, then you want to actually watch $327.43 billion cap. If the price is bouncing off that level, it's super bullish. Because when you actually go on a monthly, this is a level which the price action shows as a monthly close. Then you got a monthly open there, you bounced off. Now you're coming back down to bluff at that range. Keep in mind the bullish engulfing candle which started here is still valid. It kind of created a huge movement and then you retested that. And with that retest, buyers entered back heavily. They were not able to close that month anyway here in this lower price point. Instead, they pushed the price back up. That is where we are right now. It doesn't actually show a lot of bearishness at this moment. When you actually look for the trend, the pattern, the price structure, whenever you see something like this, historically that's been the bottom. You have seen a run up, whether it's like, that movement where Bitcoin ran from around $3,000 towards $14,000. That was a decent run up. Maybe it's going to be something like that, a 5 to 10x in the altcoin market. Maybe it's going to be bigger. We really don't know. But the point is, we're not actually looking for a drop in the crypto market where it's going to come back down to these levels. That's exactly not we are looking for. We are looking for the other direction because the fundamentals, it's super strong. There is no doubt in that. We are watching the macro market turning into that direction. But yeah, we do have hypers in the market. We do have, fraudsters in the market. So you will actually watch a lot of those too. But it's your choice to segregate that kind of information and to digest the reality in. Because if you're taking in the hype, that can distract you a lot. See, you go look at the macro market, you're looking at the oil, you're looking at the oil price action and how the market is moving. You're actually watching a reversal signal. You had a bounce, you went to that resistance. Now, remember, I just talked about some bluff in the market, right? You look at this range. The price showed you this was a resistance. I'm breaking higher. Then what happens? Boom. It comes back down. It closes that candle. And then it drops hard. Now, this week is not near to that end. So you have room to the downside. Because if you actually look at this, okay, it was showing you I'm about to run to the upside, but the economy is really weak. Your demand for oil is really low. And you need to actually see if that's reversal, where are you going? Because if price of oil is dropping crazy, that may not be the right thing you want. On the other end, dollar is moving up. If you have watched the Fed minutes or read through that, they're trying to push the narrative. We're going to do a couple more hikes. The dollar is going to be strong and the market is digesting that. Remember, safe haven assets are dropping like crazy. It's breaking the support ranges and showing you may have a better opportunity to buy these at the down trend, the support range. And the dollar is going up. So that does show you that something is happening. But let's actually look at the price action and say, okay, what does the market show you? If this is a trend line, unless we break through this range, unless we get a close, maybe a weekly, maybe a daily, whichever horizon you're watching, above this range, let's stay conservative. Let's say, okay, that is the resistance trend line, and that's going to act as one. Because if it does, that means you're going to see a rejection from that level. And if that's true, whatever we just talked about in crypto, the bluff becomes real. Dollar starts slowing down, crypto starts moving up. Now, as we're discussing through this, if you do believe you're getting value, smash that like button. Don't hesitate. That supports the channel a lot. And if you guys are looking for something like this, which is happening in the market, it's up 360%. It's up 17% on the day when this narrative is happening. And I've actually shared why that's happening, right? Against the dollar, against the Bitcoin, and gave you guys this idea. Okay, it's up 400% since our call to buy the dip here. Yeah, it did drop like 40-45%, but that was a buy the dip. That's what we shared. And now when you actually see things like this, okay, take some profits. The market doesn't actually look that great, but this asset just went up. So if you ended up in that, take profits. Otherwise, someone else may do that. Now, if you're a long-term holder saying, I have a long time horizon for this asset, great, hold on. Just skim the profit, don't exit completely. And if you are interested in calls like this and important points like this in the market, look for this link. It's a Patreon. It's given in the description below. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.